Chapter 8, Mishnah 4. This Mishnah discusses what types of meat and milk are included in the prohibition of meat and milk. The meat of a non-kosher animal with the milk of a non-kosher animal, it is forbidden to cook them together. And if they are cooked together, it is forbidden to benefit from them. The meat of a kosher animal with the milk of a non-kosher animal, such as a horse or camel. Or the meat of a non-kosher animal with the milk of a kosher animal. Since one of them is not kosher, it is permitted to cook them together, and it is permitted to benefit from them if they were cooked together. Other types not included in the prohibition of meat and fish. In the prohibition of meat and milk. Rabbi Akiva says the meat of a wild animal such as a deer and the meat of a bird are not included in the prohibition of meat and milk by the law of the Torah. By Torah law, it is permitted to cook deer or bird meat with milk and then eat them. For it is stated in the Torah 3 times, "You shall not cook a kid in its mother's milk." One mention of kid comes to exclude the meat of a wild animal. A second mention of kid comes to exclude the meat of a bird. And the third mention of a kid comes to exclude the meat of a non-kosher animal. Rabbi Yossi Aglili, however, gives a source for including the meat of a wild animal in the prohibition of meat and milk. Rabbi Yossi Aglili says, it is stated in the Torah, Devarim 14:21, "You shall not eat any nevela." And it is stated further in that same verse, "You shall not cook a kid in its mother's milk." This establishes a comparison between the two prohibitions and teaches, whatever meat can become forbidden because of nevela, it is forbidden to cook with milk. This includes any kosher animal, domestic or wild, because these can become forbidden as nevela, namely if they are not properly slaughtered. But it does not include the meat of a non-kosher animal, which does not become forbidden as nevela, but only as the meat but it does not include the meat of a non-kosher animal, which does not become forbidden as nevela, but only as the meat of a non-kosher animal. But if the prohibition of meat and milk applies to any meat that can be forbidden as nevela, then a kosher bird which can become forbidden because of nevela, namely if it is not properly slaughtered, perhaps one should be forbidden to cook it with milk. To teach that the meat of the bird is not included, the Torah says, "in its mother's milk." This excludes a bird which does not have a mother's milk.